you could mail it to a random address without a return address. They don't even need to know who you are. They could just get a really sad poem in the mail. Don't sign your name on it.
Okay, do it. Everybody do that.
That's maybe kind of an unhinged idea, but you could.
Hello, Middle Earthlings, and welcome to my humble home for the artists of the Tolkien sphere, aka the makers of Middle-earth. My name is María. I myself am a maker of many mediums, and today we have a very special guest. He is most famously an aircraft mechanic, adept at both fixing planes and dropping some terrific tidbits of Tolkien lore. But he is also a singer, a songwriter, a guitarist, and an all-around extremely chill dude. Max Comer, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Happy to be here.
Delighted to have you. I was like mentally going through my database of people I like in the Tolkien sphere, and I was like, I remember Max posted a video of one of his songs, and I got so psyched because I was like, and he's an artist. This means he is eligible for the show. And now you are on the show.
I feel like artist might be a strong word for it. It's a hobby, but I like doing it. So I got a little bit of imposter syndrome with it.
Okay, allow me to put this in the space. You are creating music where there was none before. Ergo.
True.
Ergo.
Artist. Yep.
I fear it's yours to take. I fear that is your title now. Here's my question for you, because you know so much. You know so much Tolkien lore. You're holding your own pretty well in the sphere. I would like to know your Tolkien origin story.
Yeah, it's a lot similar to a lot of people that I've talked to. Whereas my dad took me to the movie. He took me to Fellowship, and I didn't know anything about it and had no idea what it was. Had never read The Hobbit or anything like that. But I always liked fantasy because of video games. Really, that's like my intro to fantasy was like playing video games with swords and stuff. And I was like, these are cool. And so my dad was like, we're gonna go see this movie, Lord of the Rings, and I was like, okay, cool. And I remember I was sitting there just wide-eyed the whole time. And I had to go, I went to the bathroom like literally 10 or 11 times because I was just so excited with like, as a little kid with like a Coca-Cola the size of my torso, just like, and so I had no idea what was going on. I remember leaving and I was like, man, I hope they make another one. And my dad's like, you're in luck, buddy, because there's two more. And I was like, this is the best day of my life.
Oh yeah.
And then from there,
like way ahead of you, buddy.
Yeah. And then from there, I mean, it was a good time to be a kid too, because you had Lord of the Rings coming out, plus like the Star Wars prequels, which I love. We're not here to talk about Star Wars, but it was just a good time.
Listen, I'm a Star Wars prequel apologist because I think they're fun.
Oh, they're so much fun. They're so good.
They're
prequel
fun.
Haters can get out of here.
No whimsy. No sense of whimsy, but yeah, that rules.
None. Anyways, we're not going to digress into that galaxy, but and then from there, I didn't really read the books until a little bit later, but I did play a lot of the video games because I'd go home from school and I'd play Battle for Middle-earth, which was an RTS game. I'd play The Third Age, which was like a kind of Final Fantasy-esque RPG, and then I obviously played like the Two Towers, Return of the King, and all those. But I spent a lot of time playing those games and just watching the movies a bunch. I was like, maybe I should read the books, and I tried. Couldn't do it. Then I read them again when I was like 18 or 19, and that's when I really started diving deeper into it. But I always like used it as an escape, the movies and stuff, because I was kind of bullied and stuff. And so it'd be like when I come home, it's always an escape for me. When I dive into Tolkien, it's like things aren't going well.
I'm hitting a rock bottom when those books come out. Yeah.
If you see me reading the book, it's like, something's going on. Max is reading Tolkien again.
So real. Yeah, 100%. Literally me like being just the most severely awkward kid, being like, you know what I'm going to do? Make color-coded Silmarillion flashcards because I don't have friends. So
yep. This is going to be great.
This is my journey, and 100%. So when you like locked into the books in your late teens, did you then become like an expanded Legendarium guy, or were you like, I'm actually good on the trilogy and the Hobbit? Like, there's more than enough in here for me.
Yeah, the first time I read them, I just kind of stuck to those, and I was talking with a friend of mine at work who was a big Tolkien fan, and he was kind of explaining some of the more nuanced things in it. And I was like, man, I really need to read that. And then it wasn't until a little bit later, I was doing a reread. And then I was like, I need to read the Silmarillion. I need to like lock in. And I bought the Atlas of Middle-earth by Karen Wynne Fonstad.
Yeah.
And I was at work working on trains at the time. And I'd be in the break room at like 3 a.m. with like my Atlas and the book. And the dudes were like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm reading.
Shut up.
Shut up. And it's like right when TikTok was coming out too. So I was like, I don't, before then I'd done a lot of the expanded universe in terms of like watching videos on it or just reading articles online, but I hadn't taken the dive into like really getting into it. And then I did, and I was like, oh, this is the coolest thing ever. Over the last, I don't know what it's been, 10 years. It's just been like a more constant, like for the last 10 years, it's just every other week it's some new deep dive in the Legendarium.
That's really fun. It really does. I feel like it changes your relationship with the main trilogy and The Hobbit as well. Because I remember when I first reread the trilogy and The Hobbit after having done Silmarillion, you notice that on every page there's some allusion to the grander thing. And I'm like, this is so crazy.
Yeah, it's so good. Rereading the books after the Silmarillion and then reading the Silmarillion and then rereading the book, like just it's constant. It's just like a constant, like, how did he think of this? It all fits together so seamlessly and perfectly and beautifully, like a puzzle. It's so great. And so like the more you dive into it, the more there's always something to learn. There's always something to be gleaned from it. And I
agree completely. I remember being so shaken by like the scale of it as a child that I was like, there's only one answer. He was a prophet. He was seeing visions of a deeply ancient past. This is real.
It seems like it. You know what I mean? It's like, there's so many things I love about the way that he writes and just the way that the Legendarium is. And I love how everything in it is subtle and some of it's just not, some of it's not explained. It just is, like Tom Bombadil. I'm one of those people that's just like, I don't care what Tom Bombadil is or what he represents. He just is,
100%.
He tells you who he is. He's the eldest. He's got bright yellow boots and a yellow jacket. Bright yellow boots and a blue jacket. You don't need to know more than that.
Right.
Don't worry about it. That's my opinion. I'm just like, just don't worry about it. I don't know. He told you who he is. He's Tom Bombadil.
I agree. There's something like divine in it. There's like something about the wonder that's like cool. Let it be wondrous.
It's the whimsy. Where's your sense of whimsy? Let it be a little whimsy.
We keep returning to the whimsy, and that is so crucial. I will say, as a child, I was like, because I was like one of those kids who thought they were smarter than everybody. I was like, I've got this figured out. He's Father Time, and Goldberry is Mother Earth. You freaks, obviously. And then I grew up and Googled it, and that wasn't the case. I was like really devastated. I was like, fine, I'll just accept the wonder and unknowing of it all.
Not everything has to have an answer,
Yeah.
Some things are just, but whatever people want to think about Tom, that's cool too. The first time I read the book, I didn't really enjoy the Tom Bombadil arc. The first time I read it. Yeah, I was just like, this seems so random. What is this? And then then I reread it again and I remembered my sense of whimsy. And I was like, no, this dude rules, actually. I love him.
I can like kind of track how certain characters in books I've read have deeply embedded themselves into my personality, even still as an adult woman. Like, are there parts of yourself that you can trace back to Rings at all? Or is it just sort of like a more general, like, it's all in there somewhere?
There's the two characters I think that inspire me the most. That I don't know if I like would attribute them to but I always, even as a kid, I loved Faramir.
Really?
I've always loved Faramir. He was like one of my favorites as a kid in the movies. I thought he was great. I don't know. I was kind of a sad kid too. So like he kind of seemed a little sad. And I was like, I like that guy. He feels stuff.
You're like emo one.
Yeah, he's kind of emo. Yeah. And I was like, oh, yeah, like I get it, dude. Like he resonated with me then. And then, when I was reading the book Faramir is quite a bit different.
Yeah.
And I think he's very, I love book Faramir, he's somebody that sees that, power isn't everything, he's not in the pursuit of power. He's in the pursuit of protecting and helping. And I love that about Faramir a lot. And then Sam, obviously everybody loves Sam. He's one of my favorites out of the books. Of course, that's not a very exciting answer, but I love Sam.
Listen, listen, a lot of people say Aragorn and Gandalf. So I think I love this sort of like softer, more protective, more like fiercely loyal, more like, yeah, I love it. That's excellent, I think.
Yeah, I got nothing in common with Aragorn. He's way too confident for me. Aragorn in the book's just like, by the way, I'm the heir. I'm coming.
Right.
And I'm just like, oh, okay, go off, pop off, King. Like, I love you.
Yeah.
I'd follow him into war for sure, but like, you know,
not relatable.
And I'm not as smart as Gandalf. You know, I'm kind of an idiot. I'm definitely not a scholar. I mean, I turn wrenches for a living. You know.
Hey, that's a craft. Speaking of emo, I understand, and not to say that you were making emo music, but you were in bands from a very early age, is what I gather.
Yes.
In my city, like where I grew up. Once I hit 12 or 13, all of my male friends were in indie rock bands. Just it's sort of like I woke up one day and everybody was in indie rock or like pop punk. Pop punk was like really big when I was a teenager, and then it's just never stopped. So I've just been surrounded by dudes in bands. So I'm a huge fan. How old were you? What kind of music were you making?
I was 15 when I joined my first band. It was screamo music. Like it was like it was like Timu Under Oath, you know, like even our drummer was even the singer, like straight up. He was the clean singer, and then we had the screamer as well. And so it was and they kind of taught me how to play guitar. Because I kind of didn't really know. I was pretty bad, and then that kind of spun, and then we made another band. I'm not even going to name the bands because I don't want people Googling it. It's
do it.
And then no, I'm not going to do it. And then we made another band that was kind of an indie-ish band, and then that kind of turned into more of a pop punk band.
Hell yeah.
Kind of alternative rock,
yeah,
but not like pop punk, but I don't know how to, anyways. And then I did that for a long time. That was like my dream back then was to do that. We played a ton of shows. I've been playing shows since I was like 15. We started playing out, and we were headlining shows, and we opened for Hawthorne Heights and like Hello Goodbye and stuff. And
period. Oh my God.
Period. Yeah. I wonder if any of them follow me and are like, I don't know you opened for me. But anyways, and then I kind of quit that band. And then I joined another band that was like a Radiohead kind of wannabe thing.
And that's a canon event. Everybody has to go. Yeah.
And I was always just playing guitar. I never sang in any of these. And then I joined like a garage rock band, kind of like the Strokes, like garage punky kind of thing.
Hell yeah.
And those two were just kind of for fun. I had a kid at that time. My oldest was, I still have him. I don't know why I said that in past tense.
Packaged him, send him away. Yeah.
Yeah. No. But so I was just kind of playing for fun, and like it was just a hobby, you know, at that point. Yeah. But I really enjoyed it. And then I kind of fell off playing music and writing songs for a while, and I never really was very confident in my singing. And then in 2022, I kind of learned how my voice works and how to feel comfortable singing. I practiced a lot. And then I started songwriting again, and I was like, I forgot how much I love this, you know?
Yeah, that's so lovely. No, because I listened to your EP and your single and was, first of all, incredibly moved. Like really gorgeous lyricism, very like vulnerable. And I think you have a lovely voice. And I think I could hear like that, like moments of like that scream influence of like, I'm like, oh, he can do the rasp. I'm so jealous. He can do the rasp. I'm a singer and I can't fucking do the rasp to save my life.
You just got to practice.
Man, I know. I'm like looking up TikTok tutorials. I'm like, how do I do the rasp?
When somebody tries to explain it, it doesn't even make sense. I remember when it kind of clicked for me, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know I could do that." And then I just kept practicing, and it's changed a little bit since I recorded that first one because I'm learning how to do it without like kind of damaging my throat because it's easy to do. That's the
big one. Yeah, it's like the
if you don't do it right, you can kind of
just shred your vocal cords.
Yeah, but yeah, I love songwriting. It's super fun. I've got so many songs that I have not recorded that I need to, but
okay. So we're gonna record them. What's the vision? What do we have a?
Well,
in the least stressful way possible.
I mean, what I want to do is I have a lot of them, and I think I just want to record them as because what happens every time I go to my friend's house and we record together. I end up adding a bunch of things and turning it into a whole production. And I just want to be like, I just want to do guitar and vocals and nothing else. Okay. And I just want to release like an EP of just like 5 or 6 songs that's just that. Because I can
Yeah, like
always go
just an
rework them.
acoustic.
It's not that
Yeah.
serious anymore. You know, like people are always like, well, this has to be perfect. And I was like, you know what? I don't even care. I just, how they are now, you can just do, there's no rules.
We
You can
just
do anything
make
you
stuff
want,
up
you know?
constantly. We
Yeah,
just
I could record a song tomorrow and be like, you know, I'm going to record it again and do it different because it's my song and I can do what I want with it, you know?
Taylor Swift made millions re-recording her stuff so that she could own the masters. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Like,
she did the whole thing twice, didn't she? She like redid
yeah,
her whole discography or something. Yeah.
100%. So like
That's cool.
anything is
Yeah.
possible. And then she
I
bought back.
respect the hustle.
I do respect the hustle. And then she got her masters anyway, so now she owns both versions of the
Both.
whole. So we love that.
Yeah,
We love
I'm
that.
not much of a Swiftie, so I didn't know. I'm not a hater, but I just don't know that much.
You could see the shooters coming at you.
Yeah, I'm like I don't want
I don't want that smoke. No, that's real.
it's
That's
just not
real.
my thing. Yeah.
She was my thing when I was a teenage girl, and like she was, I think in her early 20s, and she wore the sparkly dresses, and I was like, this is the coolest anyone has been ever. Um, She was my
Yeah.
first concert.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
good
Yeah.
vibes. Now, as you're like entering this new era, or you have already entered this new era of your songwriting and your production, like what are your musical influences now, would you say?
Obviously, I listen to a lot of metal. I'm always wearing metal band T-shirts.
Absolutely.
But I don't play metal, which is fine.
Hey, that's
Um,
fine.
but my influences musically, I think like for contemporary artists like John Moreland, to name one, incredible singer-songwriter. Whenever I listen to one of his songs, I'm like, I shouldn't even write songs anymore because this is just so good, you know? But
No, we can't get in that trap. We can't.
I love like John Prine, even though he's not contemporary, but he's one of the best there ever was. Fred Eaglesmith, big influence of mine. You know, I like old like Blaze Foley and stuff. Foley. Funnily enough, with metal music and music in general, is metal music has a big connection to Tolkien, huge, and so that also kind of helped me like dive into it because like I don't know if you know the band Amon Amarth.
I've heard, but I'm not familiar with the music.
Well, right. So when I found out, like, they're like, oh, that somebody's like, their name is from Tolkien. And I was like, what? Back before I'd read the books. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the name of Araduin, or this is the name of Mount Doom, is Amon Amarth, even though they only sing about Vikings. But still, it's like, and then there's a power metal album called Nightfall of Middle Earth by Blind Guardian, which is like a whole concept album of the Silmarillion front to back, which is really cool.
That
And
rules.
it's not even screamy. They don't really scream. Blind Guardian's like power metal, so they sing like ah kind of thing. You know, there's a band called Summoning. It's like a Tolkien black metal band, and One of Nine, which is they have a new album coming out, and they commissioned their artwork by Ted Nasmith.
Oh, awesome.
And I think this album's like a whole concept album of Turin. Which,
A worthy subject.
yeah, especially for like black metal sorrow kind of thing. And so there's just so many bands in the metal sphere that like are influenced by Tolkien, named after Tolkien, have Tolkien references in their songs that to me, it makes it really fun to like kind of dive deep, make, oh, look, I see what you did there, you know? And I have like some thinly veiled Tolkien references in some of my songs. Very, very subtle.
So sick. I love that. I love that like so many artistic lineages end up converging with the Legendarium at some point because he was just so influential. That's so sick.
Yeah, it's great. And like, you know, I think with music you get this nice marriage between sound, lyrics, singing, and then you get the visual artistic side too, you know, where like they'll commission artists or whatever to like make their vision of Middle Earth to complement whatever music they might be making. And I think that's really neat.
Yeah, 100%. And I think my favorite song of yours that I listened to was School Pictures. First of all, heartrending.
Yeah.
I was bawling. I like texted my boyfriend. I was like, "Hey, I'm not well." But like you have like such a gorgeous instinct for imagery, and I was wondering what your process is for songwriting. Like, are you somebody who like you feel the impulse rising and you're like, oh, it's in me, it needs to get out. I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna write it all in one go, or do you like think I want to write a song about this and like
No,
do it over time?
it's the first one.
Cool. Yeah.
Like the rough draft happens. Like what'll happen is I'll be playing my guitar, just kind of strumming around, and then I'll hit like a chord progression that I like, and then I'll just kind of start singing And usually I just kind of sing like a bunch of gibberish, just a
Yeah,
bunch of mumbo jumbo. And then
to get
I
the
hit a
melody.
line. I hit a line that I like, I say it and I'm like, ooh, that's a good line. And then
Mm.
I'll use that to kind of build the rest of the lyrics. And then I'll sit down when I have an idea of like, here's 2 or 3 lines that I like. And then I'll build the song based off of that. And I'll just kind of sit around and play it and sing it over and over again. And then play it and sing it over and over again until I hate it. And then I'm ready to record it. Once I don't like it anymore, then I'm ready.
No, that's so funny because I make theater and like by the time I've rehearsed something to the point where I'm like, this will never be good. Cancel
Yeah.
it. No one should ever see this. It's like, okay, let's open.
Yep, that's the time.
Opening night.
That's the time to do it. Yep, it's that's
Put put it in
it's
the
what it
world.
is. I mean, I think everybody that's artistic kind of has that thing, and it's hard to know when to stop. Like
Yeah.
when do you stop tweaking something and you realize that it's good?
100%. I feel like especially something like music, like because there's so many production elements that's like you could rebalance and add more layers like forever into infinity. So
Sometimes less is more, and sometimes more is more. It's hard to know when it's, and then when you're working on something, anything artistically, I think for a long period of time, you kind of get like you're enveloped in this idea, and then you can't really sometimes I feel like I can't see,
you're too close.
what, yeah, and then you need to take like a day or two away from it and then come back and you're like, oh, I actually like that, or I don't like that at all, you know
100%. I have noticed that I'm so Lord of the Rings pilled that
yeah.
I can like see it in my tastes of movies. I can see it in how I write. I can see it in the themes I like to explore. Like even when it's completely unrelated, like I'm doing an experimental physical theater show about physical paint. Like it has nothing to do with Tolkien, but like I'm like I can still see the seeds. Like, have you noticed whether the Legendarium has impacted the way you create or your tastes artistically?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Knowing that Tolkien spent so much time writing, especially like the Silmarillion, which he never finished in his lifetime, you know, it inspires me to just keep writing. I think that what he was able to accomplish and everything like that makes me feel like I can do something. And like some of his themes, I think one of the major themes in the whole book in Lord of the Rings, well, all of it is loss. And so it's like different ways of coping with it. I feel like Lord of the Rings doesn't really have a happy ending, even though it kind of does, but it really doesn't have a happy ending when you think about like the longer, it's like the decline of the natural world, and then, Frodo leaves, he never fully heals from his loss. Like, and then, the elves depart, magic kind of leaves the world and it becomes lesser as a result of that. So like, it does kind of have a happy ending a little bit, but then when you really look at it, it's loss is a major theme of all of the books,
That's definitely why I love it. People ask frequently, "Why do you love Lord of the Rings?" And I just don't know that I've seen anyone else so aggressively pinpoint or articulate the inevitability of everything fading,
Yeah.
and how poignant that is. And it like wrecked me as a child because I was like, what do you mean? What do you
Yeah.
mean it all fades and there's nothing you can do, but it's still worth fighting for? This is so fucked up. Um,
I mean,
yeah.
it's true. That's what it is. And I remember when I realized that, I was like, damn, it's so much more than just a story,
Mhm.
and that's what I don't know. He really nailed it, the themes of it. And it's about like friendship, loyalty. It's about, you know, the least of us can do the greatest things, and I don't know. I like it.
I don't know, kind
I'm
of
not a
rules.
I'm not a scholar, right? But that's what I glean from it. It's, to
100%.
me, it's a very inspirational story. You know what I mean? But then at the end, it is about the fading of all things.
I think that's spot on. And I think frequently about how the fantasy genre is not just about selling us the fantasy of like, what if there was magic?
Right.
But it often sells us a fantasy of like, what if we could beat the bad guy every time? What if good always triumphed? What if we could save everything? And like that's the core of the fantasy genre.
Mm-hmm.
But Tolkien said no to that. He's like, no, I'm not selling you a power fantasy. I'm not selling you an absolutist good over evil. Everything got saved and happily ever after fantasy. I'm selling you hope. I'm selling you like, no, even if you can't save it, it's still worth the fight. Even if you fail, it's still important to have tried with your friends. Like I think that's braver
It is,
than
yeah. And I like how subtle a lot of the things are in it. I think that a lot of the stories are about people helping themselves, which is one of the changes that I don't like in the movies is when the army of the dead goes to Minas Tirith. I think it kind of really takes away a lot of the point of them accomplishing that feat on themselves. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
Aragorn shows up with the Great Company and Elladan and Elrohir, and they help break the siege of Minas Tirith. You know, it doesn't just end because of the army of the dead or whatever. It's hope being kindled in all these people when all hope seems like it's lost.
I think like that point about people helping themselves is actually really astute because I don't know that I've ever heard anyone identify that specific thing because it also makes me think about creation creation in general because I think like what is making if not waking up and being like I'm gonna do something that I don't know if it's for anybody else and I don't know what it's gonna do but there's a thing inside me and I'm gonna put it outside of me and it's gonna help me and it's gonna save me somehow in a way I can't quite articulate.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that's how I feel when I write songs. It's not. I don't really write them for other. I don't write them for other people. I write them because that's just what I needed to do that day. You know, I'm like I gotta let this out somehow. You know, and it feels good to make something out of nothing. There's just a pride in it, I guess, of just being like I made that, and it's something that I don't promote it very often. I rarely talk about it, but I probably should. But I just like it's mostly for me. And then sometimes when I hear that other people hear it and they're like, it really helped me through like I've had people message me like, it helped me through a divorce, and I'm like, damn, that's cool. I mean, not your divorce, that sucks. But I'm
Rough.
I'm sorry that happened. But I'm happy that like whatever I did was able to maybe give some light in a dark time or whatever.
100%. I mean, like, I remember when I was listening to Easy to Lose, which is Max's single. Guys,
Yeah,
everybody
it's
look
my
up.
single.
Everybody look up Max Comer on Spotify. He's got a single and an EP, and they're gas. They're fire. When I was listening to Easy to Lose, like, all of a sudden, I was, like, transported back to, like, a really, really traumatic breakup. Obviously, it doesn't hold a candle to the subject of the song in terms of scale of grief, but, like, it just, like, transported me to that well of grief, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's crazy that a song can make you time travel like that.
I've always liked sad songs, even when I'm
Yeah,
happy. Like I just
yeah.
like my friend, like one of my friends was like, "You got to play a show," and I was like, I'm just gonna bum people out for like an hour. I don't have a single happy song. You know what I mean? I don't want to write. I don't like writing them. Even when I'm happy, I'm like, that's just not what I don't know how people write happy songs. I don't even listen to happy music really. I'm like, I don't know. I like sad songs.
I feel that. Listen, I unfortunately am like half a poet. Like I'll write a poem sometimes. And like for the first time I wrote like a happy poem a little while ago, I was like, whoa, that's crazy. I didn't know that was possible. Because I think it's probably like, I feel like not to be cynical, but like happiness tends to be a little bit more fleeting of an emotion. Whereas a grief is a well.
Hmm.
Grief is a well that just sits there full of water. And sometimes it drains and sometimes evaporates and sometimes it's just there forever. So I feel like a grief is kind of a more permanent thing. So there's more to
Yeah.
articulate there, maybe. I don't know.
And I think it's like it's a universal experience for
Mm,
people. So is happiness. Everybody experiences happiness, and I want people to be happy.
hot take.
But I think when you reflect on sadness or grief or loneliness or struggle or any of those things, it makes the happiness makes it hit different. You feel a little bit. it gives you more perspective for me to enjoy that moment and enjoy that laughter or whatever it might be, because you're able to contrast it with the opposite.
I think that's true. It's an old saying, like there's no light without the darkness. We're
Yeah.
creatures of contrast. What would your advice be to people who need that sort of outlet, but maybe aren't confident in channeling it through creativity or processing it through art or XYZ?
If they're not confident in it or comfortable, but they feel compelled to, just try. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Try. And you don't have to share it with anybody. You can write it in a journal, or you can write it on a piece of paper. Nobody has to see it. You could mail it to a random address without a return address. They don't even need to know who you are. They could just get a really sad poem in the mail. Don't sign your name on it.
Okay, do it. Everybody do that.
That's maybe kind of an unhinged idea, but you could, just throw it away, burn it. If you feel like you have something to let it out, or, don't be afraid. I think don't be afraid to talk. Just talk about how you feel with the people that you love in your life, that you trust, that can just listen. Even having somebody just listen can change everything, I think. For me, I talk to myself all the time, which might make me sound crazy, but if I do that all the time, I'm like, I need to tell this to somebody else. And then I realize that I'm able to articulate how I feel maybe a little bit differently. And I'm like, that's what I wanted to say, that even if it's just me saying it, to a friend.
Yeah. I think that's lovely advice. I haven't brought up your aircraft stuff because I saw that there have been articles and there was
most people know I fix airplanes. It's not
for sure.
We don't need to talk about that.
Bring them in for
We're here to talk about music and Tolkien,
Yeah. Guys, just follow Max. You'll learn more about airplanes. My final question for you would be, for any fellow Tolkien fans, you said you write your music for yourself, which is fab, and that some people have really resonated with it regardless, which is also sick and what we want. But for fellow Tolkien fans who might, after this episode, go give it a first listen, what do you hope people get from your art?
I hope they think it doesn't suck. I hope they think it kind of sticks in their head a little bit. I don't know if they've ever been sad. I hope that it helps them maybe remember that feeling. That sounds awful. Like I'm trying to make you sad. Yeah. No, I don't know.
Get back there. Feel it.
Sometimes for me, when I listen to music, some of it resonates with me. And sometimes I don't even know why, but sometimes there's this really hits for me. I'm one of those people that when I get the shivers down my spine when I listen to songs all the time. And I'm like, not saying mine will do that. I'm just saying if it resonates with you, I hope it resonates with you. Most of them are about grief or loss, or however you want to interpret it is fine. Well, I think once you make art, it's up to interpretation. I don't care why I made it for me. I know why I made it for me, and that's not important. What's important to somebody when they listen to songs or they listen to music or read a book is how they interpret it, if it is able to resonate with a way that they might feel. If somebody wants to think my song is about this or whatever you want to think is whatever you want to think, go for it. I hope you like it. And if you don't, that's cool too. It's definitely not for everybody. Some people are like, this isn't my style of music. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Yeah.
One day we will make a little Tolkien Sphere band, and we'll write a space opera.
a Tolkien space opera?
A Tolkien space opera.
You're just explaining the Einolindale, basically.
Exactly.
That's literally a space opera.
You see my vision. We will write the music that birthed the universe. You see my vision.
Yeah, and then we can make a metal band, which is basically what Melkor sang.
Just one guy, just shredding it.
He's just over there chugging, just and then the Balrogs were like, "This shit's sick. Actually,
that's what I want.
This guy's got riffs. I like these."
Everyone's like, ah,
stop.
Look up vibes.
Melkor, why are you listening to all that screaming shit? This is just a phase, dude. He's like, it's not a phase, Dad.
Everyone's on their violins, and he's like,
I mean, my mom told me my metal music was just a phase, and now I'm 34, still headbanging to Gatekeeper every day. Like, what are you gonna, I was like, it wasn't a phase, Mom. That's the only thing I align with Melkor on, is that we like Songs of Discord.
Listen, the worst person you know just made a great point, like
Yeah, I'm like,
every now and then.
He's got riffs. You can't deny it.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, he made Balrogs, which are badass.
They're cool. Big
Don't
Daddy
agree with them.
Balrog.
I don't agree with them, but they do look cool.
I don't align with the politics, but I agree that
They do look sick. Like, I bet his Iron Crown looked cool. I can't,
he had vision. The drip was immaculate.
The drip was immaculate. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Nobody's ever said Beradur's ugly. I'm just saying.
Case closed. Period. Well, on that note, y'all can expect the Eine Lindele space opera coming soon to a Tolkien sphere near you. But in the meantime, I have put all of Max's links in the description, including a Spotify. Go follow him on Spotify.
Yeah, do that.
Listen to his music. Or else.
I will have a new song coming out soonish, hopefully, and it's my favorite one I've ever written. So,
folks, you heard it here first. Favorite one he's ever written.
It's old, but it's still my favorite.
That's so real.
Yeah,
I support that. That's so sick. Well, yeah. I'm so psyched. Max, thank you so much for joining me. This is so fun.
Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I will see y'all in Arda.